One word to describe today.
Gross?
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Here's the deal. That's the word you're going to describe it as now.
Okay.
But a few hours from now, you're going to go,
yes, the humidity dropping today.
You're going to notice a big change coming and some pretty potent thunderstorms to our west over the past 24 hours. All of those circles that you see, damage reports from storms that cut across New York, Pennsylvania, parts of New England. By the time they moved through our area, they did dump some rain. They were coming through in a weakened state, and this is the rainfall since midnight. You can see it showing up from Boston north and west. Those storms haven't quite made it to you on the South Shore and the Cape just yet. You can see the skies over Boston still mainly cloudy here as the sun comes up closer to 6 o'clock this morning. Humidity will drop over the course of the day, and we are actually in store for a gorgeous stretch of weather with sunshine and low humidity for many days ahead. So things are changing right now. Humidity oppressive out the door with dew points in the lower 70s, but by late morning and lunchtime, dew points drop way down into the 50s, and that's where they stay here during the afternoon into the evening and overnight hours. Some real comfortable air is settling on in. It's sitting just to our west right now. Front is crossing the area, and as this comes on through, the winds are going to shift around to the west and start to pull in all that drier air. So we're in the process of bringing it in this morning. We still have a fair amount of clouds overhead, and this one little cluster of showers is working up along this frontal boundary, and it may feed on into the south coast and the Cape for the next couple of hours. Right now, though, things are relatively quiet on radar, and I expect them to stay that way at least for the next half an hour to hour or so. 71 degrees in Worcester, 75 in Boston. We do have mid-70s on the Cape right now, and once those winds shift around to the west here mid-morning, that's when the drier air starts to work on in. So the clouds break for sunshine. I expect bright sunny skies through the afternoon. Temperatures will come up between about 80 and 85 degrees, closer to that 80-degree mark on the Cape and the Worcester Hills, low 80s in Boston with that lowering humidity here through the afternoon. But just a word of caution here on the Cape through about 7 o'clock this morning. You could see an additional shower or storm, and then clearing skies the trend with that drier air working on in, and it's going to be a much more comfortable night for sleeping. Lows in the 50s in the suburbs, lower 60s downtown, and with high pressure nosing in the next few days, drier air is here to stay. Down in the tropics, we're watching what's left of Harvey, the remnants here. These are going to work northward up along the Gulf Coast and could bring some very heavy rain to Texas here in the next several days. So we'll be watching that for you in the days ahead. In the meantime, look at your 7-day forecast and notice what's missing. A drop of rain. So those storms coming through overnight, that's it for the next few days. We're still near 80 tomorrow, and then cooler with a little touch of fall coming in by the weekend with lows in the 40s and 50s in the morning, and temperatures very pleasant in the 70s here during the day.
Sounds refreshing.
Yeah, a nice stretch on the way.
All right.
And a good Wednesday to you. I'm meteorologist Cindy Fitzgibbon. Yesterday was a hot day. We hit 90 degrees in Boston. First time this month, 12th time we've done it this year. On average, we hit 90 about 14 times in a season in Boston. Last summer we did 22, so it's been certainly cooler this summer than what we experienced last summer. Not going to be as warm today, though, because drier, cooler, more comfortable air is working on in behind this frontal boundary, and this is the leading edge of a significant drop in humidity. You can see those dew points are still running in the oppressive category in the lower 70s across easternmost Massachusetts this morning, but that drier air is sitting just to the west. Western Massachusetts, already those dew points are in the 50s, and that drier air is going to filter in on a westerly wind behind that front. So by noontime, big drop in the humidity, and that nice, dry, comfortable air is settling in for a good long stay. You're going to notice it this afternoon, this evening, and for the next several days as well. So it's going to feel much more comfortable to be outside this afternoon as the skies clear out. Low 80s for high temperatures. Boston out through Metro West, the Merrimack Valley may actually touch 84 in Lawrence. Now that westerly wind is going to try to warm us up close to 80 degrees on the Cape as well, but it's going to take a little longer for the skies to clear on Cape Cod. That clearing is happening from northwest to southeast. So by lunchtime, still some lingering clouds for you on the Cape. We get into the afternoon though, and your skies will brighten. And with clear skies tonight, that nice dry, comfortable air and light winds, temperatures are going to drop overnight. There may be just a touch touch of some fog developing some of our low-lying valleys, but look at these low temperatures, low 50s out in Orange. You can see lots of 50s in the suburbs, should hang on to the lower 60s in Boston. So it's a cool start tomorrow and a nice recovery into the afternoon. High temperatures coming up close to 80 degrees in most spots, a light enough wind that we may have a sea breeze kick in the afternoon, but really a nice comfortable air mass as high pressure settles in, and this is going to dominate our weather for the next several days. So a quiet stretch on the way, at least here locally. In the tropics, we were talking a lot about Tropical Storm Harvey last week. The remnants, that wave is just sitting here near the Yucatan. Doesn't have a lot of wind with it. The winds are about 35 miles per hour, but it's getting better organized, and all of this tropical moisture is actually going to be feeding northward over the next several days. Our computer models are taking what is left of this, whether it redevelops or not, up toward the Gulf Coast, and as this sits here, it could produce very heavy rain along the Gulf Coast, particularly in Texas, where there is going to be a flooding concern through the weekend. The other area of moisture is here over Florida, and there is another tropical wave over Florida. Computer models indicating this may try to get better organized as well, but there isn't really going to be a push to bring this anywhere, so it's just going to sit and meander over Florida, bringing a flood concern there as well. So they'll be dealing with a lot of rain. There is not a single raindrop here on your 7-day forecast. We've got this nice, dry, comfortable air building on in, and with lower humidity, temperatures tickle down a little bit. By the weekend, we're talking about highs only in the low to mid 70s, cool nights as well, 50s in Boston, but there could be some 40s in the suburbs. A little taste of fall on the way.
It's really all quiet and in fact starting to feel better.
Yeah, you know, those storms were associated with a front, and that front came through our area with some rain overnight, a few thunderstorms, a much weakened state, but now we're just dealing with the cooler air. I mean, you look to the west, 70s, right? As far as the eye can see, and that's what's coming our way. So quite a change that is coming on in. We actually did hit 90 degrees yesterday, and it was the first time we've done it this month, and the 12th time we'd hit that 90-degree mark in Boston this year. Now, in a typical season, we do that about 14 times, so we're a little shy of that number. And just last summer, we hit 90 degrees 22 times in Boston. So it's been a cooler summer, as you know. It's been a wetter summer, as you know, but right now this westerly wind is really bringing in the dry air, and it's also bringing in that cooler, lower humidity air as well. Look at how the dew points are dropping down to 50 in Worcester, even 53 in Boston. We've gone from that oppressive category all the way down to refreshing, but it's not the case everywhere. That front is kind of hung up here in southeastern Massachusetts, so you can see a huge difference in the humidity and the way it feels as you head down toward the Cape. It is still very sticky, but that front is going to keep heading in your direction. So soon you'll be in this here, blue sky amongst some thin clouds. Temperatures 82 degrees in Boston, but that breeze bringing in the drier air, so turning more and more comfortable here with each hour. And over the next 24 hours in Boston, you can see how we drop a little bit more. Dew points may sneak down to the upper 40s, and we're going to hold there right on through the night and into the day tomorrow. So this drier air settling in now is certainly going to be with us a while. It's coming in from the west in the wake of this frontal boundary. Now, along that front, a little bit more cloud cover too once you get Plymouth on southward, and radar picking up on some very light sprinkles. Nothing more than that. All of this moisture is shifting eastward with our frontal boundary, so we will be seeing improvements here. If anything is reaching the ground out of this, it is very light, and we'll be exiting pretty shortly. Temperatures are still running in the mid 70s for you on the Cape, up to Plymouth 79, just 72 Worcester. Look at Orange 73, even some 60s on the map right now out in western Massachusetts. So Boston, certainly one of the warmer spots with that westerly wind pulling in that drier, cooler air. We'll hold steady with our temperatures through the rest of the afternoon as it turns more and more comfortable, and then once the sun goes down, we will see those temperatures drop back into the 70s pretty quickly. Here you can see on the Cape, the clouds may linger till about mid-afternoon or so, and then thereafter you clear out. We're looking at clear skies for everyone this evening and through the overnight, and with the lighter winds, the dry air, the clear skies, it's going to be a cool night. You can open up the windows tonight. Look at the temperatures dropping down through the 50s in the suburbs, lower 60s downtown. Will likely hold in the 60s on Cape Cod as well, and what a day coming coming up tomorrow. Loads of sunshine, lighter winds, so a sea breeze may try to kick in. But we're talking about high temperatures only pushing near that 80-degree mark tomorrow. And this area of high pressure is just going to build in toward us tomorrow and stick with us right through the upcoming weekend. So it's a quiet stretch of weather here on the way locally. Now, last week we were talking a lot about Tropical Storm Harvey. Kind of fell apart, but the remnants have reorganized into a tropical depression with winds of 35 miles per hour. This is forecast to strengthen more, may get close to hurricane strength once again, and it is headed toward Texas, but it's going to do that very slowly. And as it sits over Texas, it's going to produce flooding rainfall here, and so that is going to be a big concern for the Gulf Coast. Also watching a tropical wave that could bring several inches of rain to Florida, but this may meander down this way. Neither one of these ever bothering us. What we're talking about over the next 7 days, look what's missing. Rain. We're going to have a nice dry stretch with comfortable air, low humidity, and the temperatures trend downward, only in the low to mid 70s for highs for the upcoming weekend. That is a little below average for this time of year, but comfortable, really delightful weather on the way. Erica and Antoinette.
Great news. Okay, thanks, Cindy.